So I modified my smittybilt compressor to have a pressure sensor cutoff. What I found is that originally I put the pressure sensor off of here um, with a T. However, what I found is that this doesn't have any kind of check valve here, so it just bleeds back, and then the compressor kicks back on and off. So what I did is I took this apart, um, took this tube off of here, and then the aluminum pipe that's in there. What I did is I cut it, and then I used just a cheap Harbor Freight tap and die set to make it a quarter-inch NT MPT or whatever it's called thread, and then I put a check valve from Granger in it with a T that comes down, and I just took a stepper bit and drilled this out so that fits. And then on the other side of the pipe, I measured it and I cut it and tapped it to go into the other side of the T in there. On this side, I did when I was messing with this, I had some issues, so I actually had to uh, reattach that hose after I cut it off. On the other side of the hose, I also have just a standard quick disconnect. I use this tool that I made. I forget what they call it. They sell a real version of this, but I made a copy of it off of a video on YouTube. And what it does is it takes safety wire, stainless steel safety wire, and allows you to pull this cable so that you have a tight fitting. And then I just put heat shrink around it. You don't really need the heat shrink, but it makes it cleaner and keeps it snagless. But you can see that safety wire is down in here, pulled tight as a clamp. I'll post a link to the video on how to make this tool. But that's my mods for this, for a pressure sensor cutoff. And then so the other advantage too with this check valve that's in here now is that I could plug it into like a tank like this and have a air horn or airbags or whatever I want, and the compressor isn't going to continuously run. As far as the wiring goes, it's really just two wires in this cap. I just drilled a hole and I use like some cheap Harbor Freight grommet sets here. Probably don't really need that. That's this heat shrink running over the cables to make it look cleaner and keep it from snagging on anything. Now the cable that I tapped into is, if you look in here, there's a overheat cable that comes off of the main power and ground for the motor. I just tapped into that and soldered it because it was long and easy to access. So this just goes in line with that existing cable. And that's it. It runs pretty good and builds enough pressure to run whatever I need, air horn or air up my 37-inch tires, all of them in one go without having to shut it down and cool it off. So it's been a great pump, and now it's I can use it on a tank, or I could just disconnect it without fear of it just continually running. All right, thanks.